The Zed to Zed Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Zed to Zed Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Freeman. Thank you so much for listening. At Zed to Zed, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. If it's about achievements, we'll unlock it. The sultry sounds of my slightly deeper voice is courtesy of Tarragon, infecting me with the PAX Pox, although I'm pretty sure you need to be in attendance in person to actually contract the disease. While Tarragon did indeed attend, we will have to wait at least one more week to hear from him. In the interim, we'll make do with the rest of the hosts and a bonus guest. This week, we talk episodic releases and Steam's approach to banning the lie engine. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, zed2zed.com. This is episode 47. You can also contact us with questions and comments at Twitter. That's at Zed2Zed, ZEDTOZED. Our forums, with a new address, forum.zed2zed.com, or, of course, our email, direct contact at zed2zed.com. Today's show was brought to you by the achievement Turd Burglar in Duke Nukem Forever. This achievement is well heralded as either one of the funniest or most juvenile, depending on your taste and humor. You start the game urinating in a toilet, simply press X to finish up, and go searching in the toilet stalls behind you. Resting contentedly in one of the bowls is a fresh turd that you can absolutely pick up. Pressing X to reach in and grab it will net you this 10 gamerscore achievement, and for some added fun, feel free to throw it around a little bit. This really should have been indicative of the whole game, but hindsight is 20/20, right? Special thanks to developer Gearbox via 3D Realms and Take-Two, and publisher 2K Games. And if you, our fantastic listeners, have a suggestion for an achievement sponsor, let us know. You can contact us via Twitter again. That's at Zed2Zed, ZEDTOZED. Come chat with us in our Discord chat. You can find a link to that in our forums, forum.zed2zed.com. You know, you could even leave a comment in an iTunes or podcast review post. So before we move into the rest of the show, I have a quick announcement. Now, of course, we've talked about the last couple of weeks, our Titanfall Thursday sessions, which have been phenomenal. They've been so much fun getting together with the community that our very own Joe, angelsk, has decided to take up the mantle and post a UK set of friendly times to play Titanfall. And so if you are a UK listener, I believe she is kind of targeting the 7 p.m. GMT range, 7 to 10 p.m. GMT. I don't know the day specific, but if you head over to our forums, you can find a link there. Also, angelsk on her True Achievements page has a link to the session and the discussion about when it works for everybody in the UK. But she's interested in doing that, working toward Gen 10, and of course, boosting all the other achievements therein. So, we'd love to have a UK contingent, or, if that time happens to work better for, maybe some third shift people in the United States, or some of our Australian brethren. Boy, that's a mouthful. Anyway, go check a look and see if you can join up. So let's move over and hook up with my co-hosts. All right, another full house today. I'm joined with Damien. He's here. He just went and refilled his coffee, so he should be good to go. How are you doing tonight, Damien?
Doing awesome.
That's fantastic. And, of course, Prue is on the line. How are you doing, Prue?
Wonderful. How are you?
Wonderful, thanks. Well, I'll get to that. But we've also got Randy is here. How are you doing, Randy?
I'm moderately rainy, as usual.
Moderately rainy. And Randy, you've got a guest. We've got Planting, or yes. Warren is there with you. How are you doing, Warren?
Oh, doing good. I'm mad burnt out after playing Rock Band all day.
Yeah, we played Rock Band all day. Today and yesterday. Not all yesterday, but lots of yesterday. And all
Brilliant.
day. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Since when did we start? Like 9 o'clock this morning, 8:30 this morning.
Yeah, so Peru, back to your initial statement about how am I doing. So I'm real sick. I want to, and you heard it in the intro. Well, you guys didn't because you don't listen to the show, but everyone else listened.
That never changes.
The intro that I think I got PAX Pox, but yeah, I think you have to go to PAX to get the PAX Pox. So I don't know how I contracted this, but the sultry sounds of my voice this time are totally sick related, and unfortunately it's not my kids who gave it to me, which is weird. I got it.
This on your spouse?
Well, no, we both got it at the same time, and I think my kids are like going to get it tomorrow. We're just going to be a disaster. So if I'm not on next week's show, that's why.
What are PAX Pox?
Oh, it's when you go to a large convention with a bunch of people and they just share disease because you got so many people in one spot.
But wouldn't BlizzCon be the one that's going on this weekend that's closer to you? I mean, PAX is in Australia. You're in Minnesota. BlizzCon's a little more understandable.
But you guys,
it's because Tarragon's at PAX right now. That's why.
True.
Yeah.
And we've communicated via IM. So I assume, maybe that's how I got it, through the internet. I don't know.
Yes, those new internet diseases.
Yeah.
Hey, I keep getting all these viruses, but you know what? Put in a credit card and talk to someone online. I think I'm good.
Fantastic. So before we move into the rest of the show proper, let's get some intro stuff out of the way. Keep in mind the November contests just started. This is we're about a week into them now. We've got the Gamertag Challenge. This month is Lord Chibello 13. Like I said earlier, nice mix of letters there. So hopefully you're working toward that. And last month's Facial Lafleur, by the time this comes out, get it in there. This will be your last warning. So when we record the next show, I will have closed the opportunity to put your submissions in for that. Same thing goes with the Dead Rising Challenge for the month of October. So if you have any other Dead Rising games, make sure those are in. And start working on the November challenge, which is BioShock, any BioShock game that you can work toward. And then, of course, we got new lists for the random to-do list. So make sure you're taking a look at those and chipping away. And if you got kicked out because you didn't score anything in October, feel free just to ask, and we'll put you right back on. But so that's all the contest stuff going on. Let's go into what we've actually been playing. So you've alluded to it already. We'll let our guests go first. Warren, Rock Banding it up. What else have you been up to? Or do you want to go more into Rock Band?
I'll do a little Rock Band first. Basically, our goal for this weekend was for Randy and I to bust through all of the Rock Band track packs. And we made a pretty big dent in them. We definitely got countryed out come the end. I don't know how else to put it. It was definitely rainy. I'm even getting rain cloudy after playing all that country.
It's contagious.
So you had to play country music? Why did you have to play country music? Like that's
two different Rock Band
country?
track packs.
Rock Band country track packs.
1 and 2.
God, that sounds awful.
songs each.
Yeah, no fun. No fun.
Yeah. Now the lyrics are fun.
Oh my
we
God,
had some fun with the lyrics.
Oh, I bet.
And if you look at our feeds, there's some. If you've played the track
gems
packs,
in there,
you'll get it. You'll understand.
So last night here in Twin Cities, I went out to celebrate my sister-in-law's birthday, and we went to a dueling piano bar. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a dueling piano bar.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of fun, and so they got the two pianos up there, and you make song suggestions, and it's open to anything, right? You can put any song down, and you want to incentivize them a little bit. Go ahead and throw some. They say quote unquote love, which is green and has presidents' faces on it, and that'll kind of get your songs queued up a little faster. And the higher the denomination, the easier it'll be to get your song played. Well, anyway, there was also in downtown the Keith Urban concert was going on, and so there were plenty of country music aficionados in the area. And I don't know if a bunch of them just couldn't get tickets, and so they're like, "Hey, let's go to the Shout House. This will be a lot of fun," because there were so many country music fans in there, and so many terrible haircuts. I mean, it was unbelievable. The amount of like lady mullets and I mean, it was just brilliant. But of course, all the songs they want to hear are the honky tonks and the country music. So you got the dueling pianos playing, Garth Brooks and Toby Keith and all sorts of just not my cup of tea. That's for darn sure. So it just sounds miserable hearing you guys play country music.
See, yeah, neither of us are country music fans either, and what we came up with while we were playing is we want to do like a country music bingo where you like make up a card, like a bingo card. You can have like different orders, but they all have the same things on them. Where it's like, you have things like a cold beer, pickup truck, speakers,
sure,
a small town. Then you go to a place that plays country music. We were talking about here. There's a steakhouse that blasts country music. And you just go and you see who fills out your bingo card first. You listen to the songs and you get the things that appear in like 80% of songs and see who gets a bingo first.
America. Yeah, I love it.
So I think this is a good idea, and I think I want to make a country music bingo card, and we'll see. But
yeah, I'd play that for sure. And so, Warren, how about from the achievement standpoint? How'd you guys end up doing with? I mean, do you guys pound through all these country songs and rock band in general?
We made a huge amount of progress. I started and finished a couple track packs, blasted through a good chunk of some other ones. Yeah, I'd say we made a good dent in it today.
Yeah, we're done almost everything that requires more than one person. I think we have one more annoying achievement in Country Pack 2 that we didn't get a chance to do, that we were working on right before this. And then we have six more songs to finish in the career. And then that's it for the co-op stuff. The rest is just all going back and cleaning up stuff. So
nice.
So pretty good. I started the metal pack. I started both country packs. And I guess I started 3. I didn't finish any yet, but...
Do those track packs, are they worth 1,000?
No, they're $250 each. They're $250 each, but they're considered retail titles.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're kind of weird.
That is really bizarre. What about anything else, Warren? Is it strictly Rock Band? You've been there all weekend, right?
True, but for the rest of the week, I was pretty much just playing Elite as usual, and then like my daily stuff, logging into Lies of Astaroth and whatnot.
How many dailies you got to do?
There's only 2 that I'm really concentrating on now, which would be Lies of Astaroth when it decides to work, and the Magic the Gathering.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Daily
Duels.
Challenges.
Oh, those are obnoxious. What about no Prominence Poker daily check-in or anything like that?
No, I honest to God just didn't really get into it, so it's backburnered for now. I'll probably come back to it.
Gotcha. Well, how about your mic mate there, Randy? What have you been up to this week?
Well, I've been up to kind of the same type of stuff. So I've been playing with Prue again, Perfect Dark Zero. We had a really intense run. I wish we had recorded it because it was crazy. We were both like one shot away from being dead after like a half-hour run on this level. I think, what was it, level 7?
Yeah, something like that.
Level 7, and it was we just butchered it. We set off every alarm except for the last one. The last one we were okay. But so what ended up happening is because we alerted everybody, we had to kill all of the million enemies. There's supposed to be so many that you can't survive. But we managed to kill all of them. By some miracle, we survived.
It was pretty tense for sure.
It was, and then at the very end there were like 2 guys, because I was kind of following along with a walkthrough video, so I knew the most direct route because the game is so difficult as it is. Anything to make it easier is much appreciated. And then I was watching, I'm like, okay, we're clear. This is it. We've killed everybody. There's nobody else that spawns. Let's go. And then we go through this door, and there's like 3 guys there.
Panic mode and shit.
And we're both panicking and rolling, and like, I think I got shot. Did I get? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you went down, and then it was tense for sure.
It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And then level 8 was stupid and annoying, and then we got mad and we stopped playing it. and we also ran out of time. Dead Rising 3, I just played through most of the DLC, which is like collectibles the game. I think across the 4 DLC packs, I think there's like 300 collectibles or something ridiculous.
Jeez Louise.
Maybe not quite that much, but definitely more than 200 and up to 300-ish. Tons.
It still wasn't as bad as Assassin's Creed, though.
No, but the thing that annoys me is I actually like the little DLC. I love the way they presented that DLC, kind of like like a TV show, kind of, where it's like, oh, this is a little standalone snippet of somebody else in the city that you didn't really get to experience their backstory.
But you did the main game first before you did the 4 DLC.
Yeah, I did. And I really like that because it's just kind of a different take on it. They're kind of short, but they're artificially extended by adding a billion collectibles that don't do anything. Give you a little bit of XP that doesn't matter. And it's dumb. So I would have enjoyed it more if they did not have a million collectibles and were just the little standalone stories. I think they're kind of the DLC is kind of overpriced as it is at $10 a pack. You could blast through the story in less than an hour each, but at $5 each, if you get it on sale for half price or with the pass or whatever, not a bad price just because it did a nice little addition to the story as a standalone pack. But I overall enjoyed it aside from the collectibles. I finished the co-op in Dead Rising 2 off the record with Jack this week. Now I just have to kill 100,000 zombies and I'm done with that one for the second time. Getting ready to play it for the third time. And then, of course, Rock Band with Warren and Rock Band 4. I didn't get my achievement again. It's working. No. It's working now, but only some people got it. Some people don't. There's no consistency, and Harmonix has gone silent on it. So
surprisingly.
Yeah, what a shocker. Harmonix doesn't care after you buy their stupid $30 DLC for something that was already in Rock Band 2. Yay. That's it for me.
Sound real peachy. Well, yeah. Prue, I heard your name.
Rock Band with Warren. I think I said that. But
yeah. Prue, I heard your name in there. Do you want to care to contribute?
Yeah, totally. So obviously, as Crandy mentioned, we played some more Perfect Dark Zero, and it's on and off progress. It seems that every other level we seem to be able to get through fairly okay, and then the next level we play for 2 nights in a row and barely make it through.
What's your ETA on completing that?
There's like 13 levels, I think, right? And so we should be
14, I think, because the first level is level 0, but the 13th level is like the 14th level is kind of a freebie. So
yeah, probably next week, I'd say would be fair to say, maybe.
Yeah, if we kind of get on a regular schedule, like every other night or something, because we tend to clear a level a night.
Yeah,
usually. So
yeah,
a couple weeks probably. And then we got to go through the whole thing again.
Yep, on a harder difficulty.
I'm hoping that run will be smoother, but who knows?
Yeah, so it's a lot of playing for 0 gamer score, unfortunately. But eventually we'll get there, and we'll get some achievements. So it'll be nice. And then obviously Titanfall Thursday. So which I played with you, Fream, and a whole bunch of other people from the community. And I don't want to rehash what we said last week, and I'm sure what we'll say again next week. Other than it's a lot of fun. Hop on if you can. It's super great jumping on there with everybody in the community, and we're all just working towards beating Titanfall. And it's super fun. It's a good time. Most of my time this week has been taken up in Skyrim, which I'm so excited to play, and that's been 90% of my game time this week, and so I'm probably about 20% done with that.
So did you make your character different than you made him when you first played it? Are you trying a different approach?
Oh no.
You just literally replaying.
Yep.
Do you make your characters to look like you?
No. I've actually been playing the same type of character since Morrowind, so forever ago.
Yeah. That is ages ago.
And in general, in role-playing games, I tend to pick the most balanced class. I love to do a little bit of everything.
Same.
And Skyrim is fantastic for that because you can literally just level up this set of skills and then go and move on to another set of skills and level those up. So that's why I just, instead of starting over with different types of characters, I just play the same character all the way through and then just change the play style halfway through or a third of the way through.
Yeah.
So that's been great.
One of my favorite things from because you can customize your character's face and whatnot at that beginning section, and there's that dude who meets an untimely end there, and they're like, well, who are you? And then they finally show your face for the first time, and someone made the face of the guy who gets so he's like, well, I'm you. And, I mean, it's like
I've seen that.
It just looks so funny.
Oh man, it's great. I've been having just as much fun as I did 5 years ago when it first came out. So I'm loving these remakes, man. They're awesome.
Yeah. I assume because of the achievements, you're not doing any mods or anything. Or would you put any of those on?
Unfortunately, I would. I looked at the list of mods, and I definitely would have added a few of them. Unfortunately, they all disable achievements, and I guess that's just their policy. Yeah, it's too bad because I'd like to kind of experiment with them a little bit. Some of the stuff that's not game critical UI stuff and little extra graphical stuff, but it is what it is. And I'll probably try to get as many points as I can and then throw some on just to see what it's like and maybe to get some of those new quests and stuff. But that's a while down the road. There's so much to do in vanilla Skyrim that I'll be busy for months and months, and that's fine. That's fine with me.
So awesome. the new Skyrim did the console mods too?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And it works exactly like the Fallout 4 mods do. So like we mentioned, they disable achievements and stuff, but it is what it is. So I played some more Gears with my friend, and we hit a wall. And I would love for people to write in or whatever and talk to me because we stopped. We decided to give up on Gears and hopefully.
Oh no!
Yes, I hope they patch this because it is broken. Like I've played all of the other Gears on Insane. I have had not the amount of trouble I've had here, and I just feel like it's just too unfair. It's too punishing, and it's just not enjoyable. Like you get to this one part and you just die every single time. There's nothing you can do. That you die in 2 hits and you're done. And there's just nothing you can do. So I'm curious. And I'm not the best game player. I'm sure there are 1,000 people better at Gears than I am. I'm curious how many people have completed this either solo or in co-op. I'd love to hear their experiences because this is just it's too much. It's too much. So I'm hoping later on they're going to fix it.
Don't sell yourself short, Prue. You're not that bad of a gamer.
Well, you know what? I won't even get into it. But other than that, just stuff just random to-do list stuff. So little games here and there. I played a little bit of Perfect Dark, the original. Been playing a lot of Splinter Cell Double Agent, which I haven't had a save file in since 2007, so that was interesting. Just random stuff like that. And Rock Band 4, I finally got those achievements I missed last week. So it's a pretty good week.
Nice.
You need
Damien,
to play the crew this week. Nobody's playing but me.
I noticed that I opened the app just today, I think, and I saw that we're in demoted status. We need to get that up, huh?
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I'm going to put out some guitar scores tomorrow.
Okay.
I've drum scores are huge right now. So
okay.
Those are good.
All right.
Nice. Well, Damien, what about you? Aside from taking care of babies, what you been playing some games?
Yeah, so I was very excited. I finally finished Oceanhorn. Was that this morning? Maybe it was yesterday.
What'd your final hour count come in at?
To complete the game and I was up to 99% was 15 hours. And that's with a few times where I hit not the pause button, but the menu button and just sat there. So probably, all in 13 hours of gameplay. But yeah, it counters at 15. And then I wasted another hour trying to get the last 2 fish I needed.
Oh, no.
And actually, it was the Goliath fish that was elusive. The ghost fish I got on the second cast out of the Graveyard Island, and the Arcanian fish, that thing is annoying. The electric fish that will electrocute you while you're fishing for it.
Oh, brilliant.
That thing kills you a few times. So once you get those 2, it was really just waiting for a Goliath fish. And some people talk about, oh, yeah, I got it right away. No, not me. I literally cast there for over an hour. It was like real life fishing. That boring. No.
Wonderful.
No. But no, I got that completed. So that was, I think it was my 580th completion on my tag for games. think 590 something with apps, but 580th game completed. And then I've been working on Lego Batman 2 while I'm watching Brielle in the evenings, since I didn't have an Xbox One up here. And for some reason, all my streaming's been knocked offline. So I can't stream to my consoles, which was annoying when we were doing Jackpack, because I couldn't connect to the console to launch it. So I had to play via tablet remotely, which we'll get into later. So I don't know if anybody else does streaming on Xbox One to a Windows 10 device, but has it stopped working like in the last update as of last week?
I don't think anyone can hear you. Raise your hands in the air
I haven't
shruggingly.
Had any troubles, but I don't know if I've tried it within that time frame. It may have been slightly longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, I just started trying it this week, and I've gone on multiple computers that were all connected to my Xbox Ones, and none of them can see it, even though I can ping it on the network. I know the IP address, and I ping it, and it responds. So it's there, but the Xbox One app on Windows 10 can't connect.
That's weird.
Yeah. But other than that, that's pretty much my gaming. Just Lego Batman, Oceanhorn, and Jackpack, which we'll get into later.
Fantastic. I did what I was set out to do and completed Enigmatis. I got my last, just a quick expert playthrough, followed the guide just to a T and ripped through that. But that game is complete, done, off the table. I'm sad I got rid of another game that has an E in it. That was my last bit for the Facial LaFleur gamer tag. And since that was off the table, I was like, oh, you know what? I got to just do a little bit more Festival of the Lost and Destiny. Play some of the strikes, see if I can get my gear up. And so did that, got an achievement, which was nice. I got like 5 achievements left in that.
Just a little bit of Destiny, right, Fream? Just a little.
Just a little bit. Just a little. Next week, this upcoming
really
week.
Just a little.
It was okay. It wasn't too bad. This next week is going to be a lot because Iron Banner comes back, and Iron Banner is a PvP it's game mode, and they give out really high level loot, and so I'm probably going to play that quite a bit. I know I ended up at that Dueling Piano Bar. I was wearing my Destiny T-shirt that I got for my Year 2 Moments of Triumph with my gamer tag and stuff on it. Now, granted, it was an undershirt, so it wasn't a total nerd. And actually, the bouncer said it was a great color on me. So I got that going for me. But anyway,
did anybody yell at you about your Destiny shirt?
No.
See, no. we were at the farmer's market. Well, Warren, you can tell the story.
Okay. Yeah, we were going through the farmer's market. I had a World of Tanks shirt on I got for passing the World of Tanks Academy at PAX last year.
Yeah.
And this dude who's like one of the vendors just points at me and yells, pay to win, you for the blues.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm just like, what like the? That. We're all confused.
Yeah, we were so confused, all of us. And we're like, who was he? I didn't even think I thought he was just yelling at someone. I didn't realize it was Warren. We walked by,
that's hilarious.
What's going on? It was super weird. Your Destiny shirt just made me think of that.
Yeah. Wow, no, I did not pay to win my Destiny. I can't believe the level of vitriol for that. That's insanity. No, that was not the case. Anyway, if anyone's out there and wants to play some Iron Banner and stuff next week, keep an eye out for me. Of course, we won't be able to play Tuesday because that is our Gears of War night. We'll be doing our second run-through of the RAM DLC. We did our first run-through this last Tuesday. Did the campaign. It was fun. I like the campaign. The story is really cool. It's interesting when you play that game, because obviously there's no difficulty achievements associated with like playing the game on Insane, which is a very in a cover-based shooter, right? You use lots of cover because you get killed so fast. When you drop it to casual with unlimited ammo, it turns the third-person cover-based shooter into a run-and-gun, and so it's a completely different game. It's fun still, but when you're just out in the middle in the open, just ripping through dudes because you have unlimited ammo and you can't get hurt. It makes life a little different. And so we got those achievements. That was fun. I like that. We do have to do another playthrough on standard. We did the arcade campaign, and then I think if anyone out there is interested listening, so after this upcoming week, then the 2 weeks following, leading up to Thanksgiving, will be Horde mode and Beast mode. Those are the two other achievements I'm going to go for. I think that'll kind of put a nice bow on it. I mean, I'm not doing seriously. I'm not going to do a ton of multiplayer stuff. No, that just sounds terrible.
Just buy like 6 more Xboxes and just idle it.
There you go. So I'm gonna put a fork in Gears 3. I'm hoping Thanksgiving is gonna be the end of it. There might be one more week after, depends on how much we can get done. But if anyone in the community is interested, I know you can boost up a little bit more people with Horde. And Mattism, who pretty much has all the achievements, he's just kind of getting XP right now. We can alleviate the burden on his evening if that was the case. And I won't be able to play Destiny on Thursdays because, of course, that's Titanfall Thursdays. And we had a couple new people join up based on kind of mentioning it to the crowd, which was great. We had 10, 11 people. This last Thursday, 12 is max size. So we were just playing campaign games and finishing Last Titan Standing. Again, great group of people, super fun. Man, the types of conversations we had, it was all over the place. And you can go from like being real serious, talking about, racial and gender equality in video games to, there's always food talk. That comes up quite a bit, just random stuff. It's like our chat. So if you're not part of the Discord chat, you can kind of see the very similar things there. Big L likes to mix the pot up as well. They did mention in Thursday our propensity. So Philip Wendell joined up. We mentioned him last show, and he said, he's catching up on old episodes. He listens to the new ones, but he also is going back and listening to the old ones as he comes. And he said, I've heard, there's an interesting thing I heard where you guys kind of have like these inside jokes for like 3 or 4 episodes, right? Where you just beat a joke to death. And he's like, I'm kind of to the one now where it's everything's like everything in space, and that was a fun few weeks there. And then the one where we kept calling Big L, we'd say that guy. What else? It's funny to hear
Big L, whatever we call Big L,
engorged hashtag. Yeah, and so that's like our new joke now, and it's funny to hear those things. It's like it's almost you're kind of reminiscing.
It is very true. That's kind of what we do.
So I enjoyed that, a different kind of perspective. But hey, it happens. You kind of get onto something and you have some fun with it.
See, on the topic of food talk, now this seems like a good transition to my little nostalgia bit this week. There's a Crystal Pepsi update.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Crystal Pepsi's back again already.
Well, how'd that work? I thought they discontinued it.
Yeah, I did too. And then it's now on Amazon Prime Pantry, and it's cheaper than it was in the stores.
So you can always get it now?
Apparently. They're doing like they did with Surge, I guess. So, of course, I ordered a case. Very excited. It came in the mail. It was
just one case?
Yeah, for now. I mean, I'm unemployed still.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Oh, it's only $10.
If it's damaged, you can go get a full refund and they won't have you send it back. Then you can have a full case of Crystal Pepsi for free on Amazon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, neither the Crystal Pepsi nor the 10 boxes of cereal were damaged. So,
could you say you ordered regular Pepsi and they sent you Crystal and see if they send you multiple?
Yeah, they'll give you credit.
3 or 4 times.
Would rather just not have you mad.
Could you just tell them you want Dead Rising 2 and they'll keep sending you Crystal Pepsi?
Wouldn't that be nice? No. Well, see, Damien, they didn't do that with me. I had to fight them over and over again. They didn't care if I was mad about Dead Rising 2. Apparently, they only care about if you're mad about Prime Pantry. I don't know. I had to fight them big time every time I was on the phone with them.
I also probably spend a lot more money with Amazon.
Yeah. All right. Everybody anyway. Else that's not Randy, do you think Randy gets more upset with them if they screw up his Crystal Pepsi order or his Dead Rising order?
I can probably answer that right now.
I know you can answer that. I want to hear what everyone else thinks. How well do we know Randy? Because I think he would be more furious about Crystal Pepsi.
No, I think Dead Rising, because that's part of his hobby collection.
Okay. Peru, where do you stand?
I totally agree with Dead Rising, especially considering how hard he fought to get that stupid disc.
And I still never got it.
I would actually. Ooh, that's close. I would say Crystal Pepsi.
All right. What's the real? How angry would you be, Randy?
I would have to go with Crystal Pepsi because I was in no rush to play Dead Rising.
Woohoo!
And I can get it anywhere else, but now Amazon has a Crystal Pepsi monopoly.
I'm ordering it right now because I've never tried it. So it's $10. So
excellent. It's totally worth it.
Oh, you're ordering it right now. I thought you said you're hoarding it right now.
No.
I'm going to buy out the market pantry or the whatever, Amazon pantry.
So now the next thing, there's 2 Crystal Pepsi updates this week. It's insane.
Oh,
it's crazy madness. It was super exciting week.
I was going to say, I thought you were in a bad mood, and this sounds like you're living on cloud 9.
I'm in a normal mood right now, but I mean, this was like during the week when this is all exciting going on. So, of course, whenever something Crystal Pepsi happens, I go on Twitter and I tweet about it, always. And Pepsi liked my tweet, finally. I've tweeted Pepsi like 100 times, and they finally acknowledged one of my tweets.
That's fantastic.
And so I
must have been an intern.
So I see the hashtag Crystal Pepsi, and somebody posted, "Hey, I just found a Crystal Pepsi slush, like a Slurpee, but not at 7-Eleven." So I knew these were in Canada, so I asked him, like, "Well, where was this?" The guy's profile was from the U.S. He's like, "Oh, it's in South Carolina or something." Like, this is crazy. There's Crystal Pepsi slushes in the U.S. now, so keep an eye out.
We'll have to let you know.
One more. This isn't Crystal Pepsi update, but this is another great nostalgia update. Oreo O's are in production again.
What?
You've been to the factory?
I think we talked about Oreo O's at some point.
We did. There was a cereal. I think it was an outtake, actually.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, in South Korea, they're being produced again. You can buy them on eBay.
Well, that's fascinating.
So Oreo O's are back.
Is it like Retro Cereal Inc? What's the company making it?
See, what happened was Oreo O's used to be produced, I don't know, Canada, US, maybe Europe, I'm not sure. But then there was a licensing issue with whoever owned the rights to Oreos, and the rights to Oreo O's had some kind of conflict, or were competing or something. So they couldn't be created because these licenses didn't agree with each other anywhere in the world except for South Korea.
That's bizarre.
So they were produced in South Korea for like 10 more years, and then they were discontinued for some reason. I think it was like the government said it was too unhealthy or something, because let's be honest, it's cookies for breakfast.
Well, so is like Cookie Crisp, though.
Oh, I was going to say Cookie
Crisp.
That was
Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, but Cookie Crisp isn't in South
Thanks,
Korea,
bro.
I
Appreciate
guess.
that.
I don't know. The U.S. has great, horrible, unhealthy cereals.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Like, it's a magical place for cereal.
How do we all end up with diabetes in America? I wonder.
We get diabetes because we go to the doctor. You show up at the doctor, you're fine, and then once you leave the doctor, they say you have diabetes.
I like that.
What the hell, right?
That was just my winter coat.
But now,
in summer.
For the past 10
in
years.
South Korea, Oreo O's are back. So
That's awesome. I used to be at before, when I ate sugary cereal and stuff, I would always go down the cereal aisle and look for one of those big old marketing stars that said new. I'm like, I don't care what it is, I'm trying it. S'mores cereal, you better believe it's going in my cart. Oh, is that a brand new Captain Crunch with all marshmallow and crunch berries? It's in. Let's do it.
So,
and I would.
That's like my potato chips. I just got bacon, cheddar, mac and cheese, Lay's potato chips because it was going. I like bacon, cheddar, mac and cheese. Let's try it on a chip.
And I would do that with soda too. I'd be like, "Oh, new Mountain Dew flavor? You better believe I'm buying it."
But Crystal Pepsi comes out, and you're like, "Ew."
Well, now I don't drink soda, but
we'll get a Crystal Pepsi. You got to get a Crystal Pepsi Fream. Just get one.
How about you
I've
pick
had
some
one.
High C Ecto Cooler while you're at it? They got those on the Amazon Pantry.
You do know that Ecto Cooler never really went anywhere, right? That they actually just changed it to orange lava burst and changed the color.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like it when it was green better. I mean, that was money, but
And it had Slimer on the front.
you totally did. Hey, so I got 3 games that I need to finish up with my recap here, and then they're all just random to-do list things. But I did Hyper Drive Massacre. Yeah, that's the word. That's the one. It's so forgettable. I can't even remember the name. The controls in that game suck. They're just awful. So I totally recommend not playing it ever. But now it's on my tag, so I feel like I need to do it. And
So
and then
worse than
Frozen.
Perfect Woman.
That I don't know. And then Frozen Freefall on the 360. I had to just do a quick level in that. But the one I spent the most time in, because it was completing the campaign, it was an old gem on XBLA, Rascals. You guys ever play Rascals?
Sounds familiar, but I don't think I played it.
The
Probably
old,
need of it.
it was fun, and actually it seems relatively easy to complete. But they're kind of these mini little racing levels where this dude who you can kind of break these blocks almost. Not quite Tetris style, but you break these blocks to kind of maneuver through a level. But they do some really unique things with the world, where sometimes you're racing another character, sometimes you're dodging a boss, sometimes you're doing, and it mixes it up enough that every kind of level you get into is really fresh. And so I was just surprised with how cool that game was, and it's actually relatively easy completion. So now, unfortunately, it's only 200 gamer score. So if you're looking for gamer score, you're not going to get it. But if you're looking for a game completion, Rascals is not too bad. There's a tiny bit of a multiplayer achievement in there, but that's pretty easy to get. So anyway, okay, that's it for the recap. We did our nostalgia with Crandy, and we got a question here from I think it's just you, Damien. What did we ever get resolution from the community on who won the debate?
Oh, I put that in there.
So you're asking because you're a participant. You want to know how it fared.
Oh, are you saying I was the only one who actually gave you feedback on who I thought won?
Well, no, but we did a poll. We had a Google sheet.
Oh, we did?
Notes. Yeah.
And
so we only got 5 responses.
I didn't respond. There was actually a Google sheet for it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was in the show notes.
It sounds like 5 is an odd number, which means that there likely is a 3-2, a 4-1.
Yeah, it's a 3-2 for me. For winning.
Okay.
What?
Now that's in winning the debate, correct?
Yes,
not in
that's winning the debate, not who is right.
Yeah, not the best game yet. Okay,
so we could do that. We could set one of those up.
And I'll share my thoughts. I love the debate, by the way. You guys did a great job. Prue, you did a great job hosting it too. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you.
It was a lot of fun. I hope we
Randy,
do another one of those.
We should.
I think we should because I forgot debate structure since I did like speech class in high school or whatever. I was like, that actually it's funny because I would always pick the counter, the anti, whatever the topic was. I remember affirmative action or something, and it was like I was in high school. I was relatively more educated than everyone else, and so I would always pick the counter argument, even just to get under people's skin. Where, just for no other reason than just to make them upset. And so, I remember how much fun that was. And I thought, everything has to be a really important topic that you have to discuss. And then to hear the actual structured debate format talking about 2 video games, I'm like, this is just brilliant. This is exactly, it's so fun. And I do appreciate.
You should have seen my prep sheet for you.
Well, that's why.
It was like a page and a half.
And that's why I'm going to give you the win. Yep, I'm going to give you the win because your prep did come through. I will say Tarragon's counter arguments were great, and he did a great job of having his own structured arguments, but I think your overall preparation showed. I will say, however, I'm firmly on Tarragon's side, and he is correct and you are wrong. That Dead Rising 2 is a better game. But I will admit, you had some salient points in there that made me second guess a little bit. So I was wavering.
Okay, well, that's good.
I was wavering.
That was the goal, because I put a lot of effort into that.
Yeah. So it was fun. We'll have
Partially
to come
for
up
my own satisfaction, because for a really long time, I always liked Dead Rising 1 more, but I didn't know why. Something, and then it clicked. I was like, oh, now I know why.
Yeah, to me, like, the nostalgia glasses change my perspective on that, and so going back and kind of re-looking at it, it gets a little. I lose that.
It's not nostalgia glasses. It's member berries. I remember. You remember?
Because that was the first game I ever played on a 360. That was the gift my friends got me for my wedding. And because I'm such a huge zombie fan. So it's got a little special place in my heart, but and as much as I didn't care for Chuck Green or the multiplayer, it was a better game. So I had more fun playing too. Anyway, we don't need to rehash that. Crandy, was there anything else you needed to touch on before we moved into the news segment of the show?
I think that's it.
Wonderful.
I think that covers everything for this week. Well, there's a new bit on shovelware, but we'll get to that in the shovelware thing this week. So we won't talk about that here.
All right. I like to hear that. Okay.
Changes are coming.
So speaking of changes, we'll start the news off with this. And I thought this was really interesting. Now, it is Steam. Okay. It's not a Microsoft thing or an Xbox thing, but I kind of hope it's a trend that picks up. And so ultimately, Steam, or Valve, right, the company behind Steam, is insisting that if you are going to sell your game on Steam, that any screenshots used or any promotional items used to get people interested in the game, in the nature of screenshots, have to be in game. You cannot use any more of these pre-rendered, doctored photos. If you're going to show the game, it has to be a screenshot from the game. And a lot of that comes from really stemming from No Man's Sky, where you kind of looked at some of the imagery that they showed before the game launched and how vivid and unique all the creatures were and how awesome everything looked. And then they show the real game and it's some sort of hopping, weird, one-legged frog. There was huge disconnect there. And so Valve is stepping in and saying, look, if you're going to promote your game, you have to use, so there's a section of their little page that says screenshots. They must be from the game. You cannot go in there and doctor those photos in any sort of way. That has to be representational. Now, I like this idea, and it's you're trying to go right into the face of your lie engine here, Randy. Where if you're gonna promote something, you better be showing what's actually in that game. What are your thoughts on this, Randy?
So Steam has banned the lie engine, basically. On Steam, you can still use the lie engine everywhere else.
Correct.
I guess you can still lie engine trailers. But I think it's fantastic. I hate Steam, but I got to say this is a step in the right direction for consumers, because it's so blatant now. You see every game; it's just a total lie. Yeah. Everything. It's all fake. It's all in-engine footage. I'm quoting with my fingers here. In-engine footage that's just not real. Maybe on their supercomputer back at the base in this one little tiny part of the game that they made just for this trailer, it looks like that. But no one, even on PC, is going to see a game that looks like that in the end. So I think it's good, and I hope other places follow that trend.
I agree. What about you, Warren? Do you have a stance on this?
I was always kind of a hater, I guess, on No Man's Sky, because it seemed like they were trying to tread onto Elite Dangerous' territory. And after kind of seeing what the game looked like when it came out, I'm like, yes, they have failed. So, if they want to protect the consumers from that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Damien, you have a comment?
No, I kind of am on board with Randy. Just, I don't have the vocal lie engine calling out them on it. But yeah, I would say that usually any of that pre-marketing hype, I'm just at this point, I don't really pay much attention to, because again, I think as we all kind of come to expect, it's oh yeah, that's really not what it's going to look like. I'll wait till something comes out where I can either see something in game like YouTube. So to know that Steam's actually going about and just saying, hey, for what you're going to post on here, that's what we want you to do. It's refreshing, because yeah, that's who really likes to be oversold and under-delivered.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand with some new studios, it's like, hey, you got to build hype for your game, but you
also can't lie about it.
Yeah, I mean, you do that. I'm in sales, and if I overpromise and underdeliver, you don't keep customers, because they go, oh yeah, you tell me X, I'm gonna get Y. Why should I do this? And I mean, if you're only looking to be a one-time flash in the pan dev, okay, but why would you want to do that to yourself? So.
Here's a question. Do you think that this came about because of all the refunds Steam had to do for No Man's Sky?
Partially.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, but they didn't have to do those refunds. They chose to.
Well,
but
it's bigger. If you didn't do the refunds, given the circumstances, it hurts you as a company longer term, because people are going to be, all right, then I just won't buy from you if I have no recourse.
Yeah, right. When you don't. But there isn't other options. That's the thing. There is no other choice. You buy it on Steam or you don't buy it.
Or
buy
you go
it at the
buy an
store
Xbox
and you get a
or
Steam
PlayStation
code.
4 and you stop playing on PC, because most of a lot of the games are everywhere now.
Well, and I think Steam in this instance was building up enough case that they'll go forth and say, yeah, you know what, you're right, customer, we will honor your refund despite playing hundreds of hours or whatever. You're fine, because I'm collecting all this data and all of these people are asking for refunds, and I'm going back at PlayStation and the No Man's Sky developers and saying, listen, you're paying me for this because I dished out of my own pocket to cover some goodwill here, but you guys have falsely marketed this game, and I don't want to take legal action if I don't have to, but and that's kind of where it ended up going, right? I mean, is there outstanding suits right now? I know there's a lot of like a class action lawsuit going in, whether or not it's seen the light of day for false advertising. But I mean, specifically for that game. Now, that being said, that's not the only game that's ever done this. I mean, there's tons and tons of games out there that have doctored screenshots, and they want to present a nice picture for
Activision.
Well, this is rampant with all AAA games right now.
I
think without exception, in the last, other than maybe like Doom, I don't think Doom had any backlash, but there are very few that are not like, this isn't even close to what you promised or something.
Yeah.
It's a nice idea. I like obviously what they're doing, but is this really going to fix the problem? I don't think so. There's always going to be ways. I mean, exactly how would they enforce this? I don't know. I feel like that there's going to be ways. There already were ways that the developers could slip by this kind of stuff. They could say, oh, it was on a super powerful computer, or oh, it was this was part of the game before it came out, or oh, this was something that was changed later on. Like, I don't know that this is actually going to fix anything. I guess I would have to know the specifics on how Valve would implement this. I'm
totally with you, Prue, because I was thinking that the same thing is so yes, you make this policy. Where's the teeth? What is the recourse for someone who's caught doctoring a photo in the screenshot section?
No,
all right, is it permanently banned? What happens to that developer? Is there, obviously there's screenshots, then there is, videos or imagery or other things, is there another avenue of promotion you can do to have these, pretty doctored photos up there? I mean, you're going to find a way around it.
So yeah, I'm thinking it's what Valve is probably trying to set up here is, more consequence for developers if another No Man's Sky happens and refunds, like mass refunds happen, where they say, okay, you promised all this stuff in these screenshots and none of it's in the game, so you pay for the refunds, not us. Or, you don't get paid from us because you lied in your screenshots and everybody requested a refund for your game. So I kind of think there's that, but I don't know. And on the other topic of it not really fixing anything, there's also this kind of weird thing that, I don't know. There's no numbers to support this, but it's just something I seem to kind of hear about and see all the time is the people that buy games are very interesting in that you can keep screwing them and they keep buying them anyway.
Yep. They're kind of masochistic that way.
It's so weird. Like the one that always comes to mind was that group on Steam, the Boycott Modern Warfare 2 group that half or more of the group was playing Modern Warfare 2 on the release day. And that just happens all the time. Like it's like, oh, I'm never buying another Ubisoft game again, and then 2 weeks later you buy Watch Dogs 2. It's like the developers aren't going to change anything, and it's going to keep getting worse until people actually stand up and say, no, we're actually not going to buy this. We're not going to give in to your lie engine and buy it.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Yeah. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. It's the same thing with like pay to win, free to play stuff is, remember Horse Armor when everyone thought Horse Armor was ridiculous in Oblivion. Like, oh, why would you pay $5 for this cosmetic thing that was there? Now Horse Armor is in every single game.
It's because Horse Armor was
nobody's
awesome.
up in arms. No, nobody's up in arms about the new horse Armor, just the old Horse Armor, 8 years ago or whatever. So
yeah,
I like the idea, but I don't think it's actually going to help much.
I'm curious where it's going to build up to. We'll see. Hey, how about a little bit of goodwill? Right, here's something that Steam had some goodwill. Here's a game that is coming to Xbox One that I absolutely loved on the 360. Bastion is now coming to the Xbox One on December 12th, actually, is when it's coming out. And for all you 360 owners of Bastion, you can get it for free until January 1st. So between December 12th when it launches and January 1st, if you owned Bastion on 360, you will get it for free. Otherwise, it will be $15. And it's not it's not like a backwards compatibility thing. This is a brand new game, and they've increased the resolution. It's going at a full 1080p, and the Stranger's Dream DLC is going to be in there. And from Supergiant's own website, there are more achievements to unlock. It's brilliant. It's everything we want. And if you haven't played Bastion back on the 360, I absolutely loved that game. Not terribly long, and just the way that the narration kind of just brings you into the world and explains what's going on as the world builds. Beautiful. Did you guys end up playing Bastion?
Nope, I haven't played it.
I bought it at some point, apparently. When I saw this article, I checked, and I was like, oh yeah, I own it. I guess I better grab that. Yeah,
I was going to say, I should probably buy it before this comes out so I can get both versions. But
now I gotta check. I thought I owned it. I've never played it, so now I can own it twice.
I bought Bastian 360.
Oh, I guess I have access to it. I have a choice.
All right, so none of you have. Warren, help me out here. You've played it, right?
I played for like the first bit of it. It was one of my bean divers.
You guys are killing me. Anyway, Fream, it is beautiful.
Now you know how I feel about Burial at Sea.
No. Don't even Burial at Sea me with this.
No, I will.
Nobody
has played Burial at Sea.
Bastion was one of those hallmark Xbox live arcade games in the vein of Limbo, in the vein of Shadow Complex. Bastion was right there.
This is the end of this BioShock series. It's the end
of which I never played the first game.
Does this mean we're going to hear a spoiler cast on it now?
No, there's nothing to really spoil. It's just a beautiful game that, and the narration. So I don't think it is Sam Elliott, but if you guys know who Sam Elliott is, he is. If you guys are big Lebowski fans, he is the mustachioed, the Wanderer. who, he's like, hey, the dude, and
he was also in Parks and Rec.
Like my sarsaparilla. Anyway, he looks, for what it's worth, he looked just exactly like my uncle. Actually, my uncle would get approached on the street in New York, and they're like, hey, can you get me your autograph? And he'd write Jim Hall, and they're like, who the hell is Jim Hall? I want Sam Elliott. Like, that's how much he looked like him. Anyway, it sounds like the narration of this, and he talks, like, so as your character does things, he talks like you're doing. So if your guy stands there, he's like, well, and the boy stood there for a while, contemplating his lot in life or something, and then he's like, and as he walked, the ground swelled in front of him. And it is awesome. I love this game. And this is going to be a game I'm going to play again on the One when it comes free, because it's great. So I am hugely disappointed you guys haven't played it, but I'm excited to hear your reactions to it when it comes around in December.
I'll play it for my B for Chabella.
There you go. It's a relatively short. Now there are a couple of playthroughs because there's a choice at the end that you need to make differently, and I don't think you can save before the choice. Maybe you'll be able to. I think you have to play through 2 full playthroughs, but I think the completion is like 10 hours. I think it's a pretty short game. I think it's like a 6-hour first game because you gotta open up everything, and then it's like a 4-hour second playthrough just to kind of mainline it. I believe. And if you're interested, go to Supergiant Games. We'll put the link to their homepage in the show notes. They have an awesome Bastian anniversary T-shirt. Have you guys seen this thing? Click the link in Trello there that you can look at this shirt. It looks super cool. It's like this white T-shirt with this red and black. It's awesome. So if you guys are interested, that is out there as well. So Bastian,
now,
guys.
While we're on this topic of games we wish other people played, now, Prue, did you get to play Burial at Sea yet?
I'm working towards it. I finished BioShock 2. And so I'm about to play BioShock Infinite, but then Skyrim came out, which delayed my BioShock plans slightly. But I will
wait for my spoiler cast.
I'm still working on it. Give me 2 weeks, and I'll beat Infinite again, and I'll play Burial at Sea, and we'll do a spoiler cast for sure.
Okay, that sounds good.
Wonderful. All right, we had another announcement here from Square Enix this time, and they are going to be coming out with Hitman Season 2. So Hitman Season 1, of course, it is finished. It started in March of this year, and it was episodically released. So I think there were 5 episodes where they had large content drops. I think each episode opened up a new playable map, one of these large maps. And then during the year, they had these exclusive target missions. So, like, for a weekend, it was like, go kill Gary Busey or, kill this dude or whatever. And they'd have these special events set up. And then you kind of that tided you over between these large releases. Suffice it to say, apparently it was successful enough that Square Enix is going to do the same thing for Season 2. So whether or not they just build on the same... I believe they're going to build on the infrastructure that is Hitman version 1, and then likely have a large content launch for, I hope maybe in March, for the opening of Season 2, and then do 4 subsequent releases. But I want to ask you guys, does this do anything for you? I know we had talked about it back in March when this came out, about how comfortable we were with this episodic type approach for a game like this. Have your thoughts changed at all? Whether you played it or not. I mean, I don't think any of us actually did play this game, but I'm curious if you've warmed up to the idea, or do you still think it's maybe not quite there? I'll start with you, Prue. What do you think?
Well, I'm okay with it. Actually, I just this week caught up on the Batman Telltale game, and I know it's a slightly different type of game, but I like the idea of this kind of continued adventure game where you are kind of, and I get it, like, it depends on the situation and how much they're charging for each episode and stuff like that. But, like, for example, like, if Mass Effect Andromeda did this sort of thing, I would actually eat it up. I would love it. I'd be like, yes, give me more and more content. I don't care, depending on the game, like that game, I would pay so much for. Like, I would, if there was 17,000 seasons, I would play every single one of them. So it really depends. And if you're really invested in it, I get it. I think that it adds value to those people who really love those things. I haven't played Hitman specifically, but I am on board with it because as long as you're getting content and you're getting the content that's worth your money, I think this is a great way to go about it for both the developers and the players.
Interesting. Warren, do you share that point of view?
For the most part, I like the idea that they're leaving it kind of open-ended on the back end so that if they find certain story elements are being more appreciated, they can work toward that more. On the other hand, I guess it comes down to how quickly they come out. I mean, was it Blues and Bullets? Was that the episodic one that just kind of fell apart? Or, I mean, like things like that just kind of leave a bad taste in my mouth.
D4 is on the list.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few of those, too. They just completely were abandoned.
Well, I don't think Blues and Bullets is abandoned yet. There was some rumor that they went bankrupt, and then they tweeted out, they're like, no, we're not bankrupt. We're just close.
Our Twitter's still working, so we're okay.
Yeah.
Thank God Twitter's free.
It's still coming out. Episode 2 or 3 or whatever is still coming out. Don't worry.
Yeah. What about you, Damien?
Yeah, because having done the Minecraft one, the thing that kills me is the open-endedness. Because Minecraft, for example, I would have played it when it ended at 5, but no, now we got 3 more episodes, and I got burned with it's not an episode. Well, it kind of was. The whole Disney fair. Oh, we're going to go release it. So I hate that. I hate starting something where you don't know it's going to be complete. And it's like my TV watching. I do binge watching. When Mr. Robot, we watched season 1 after all of it was out. I don't like waiting each week and then
dealing with cliffhangers.
I mean, I'm fine doing like a full season. Like if season 1 was done and just watch it through to through, kind of like how The Walking Dead was done. Season 1, it's a full set, it's done. If they have season 2, now it's a separate season 2 set.
Yeah.
That's how I prefer. I don't like going, here's season 1 and we'll just tack on season 2, because then you get into the situations like D4 and you started going, or are you done? Are you going to add anything else to it or not?
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, for what I'm sure will be a negative opinion, Randy, do you care to buck the trend?
I love it.
I'm the same thing with Damien, pretty much. I don't like to go in not knowing, partially due to price commitment. Because if I go in as a completionist and say, okay, I'll commit for 1 season or 2 seasons, like Minecraft, for example, you go in, they're like, okay, here's the season pass. Every other Telltale game has 1 season pass, and that's it. You buy it for $25 or whatever it is, and then you're in for that season. And that's that whole game. That's that whole completion. When it's done, you have it. Well, then Minecraft was like, let's tack on another $15 or $20, and we'll tack it on the same game, and we won't tell anybody, and the people that got the season pass don't get that content. So I don't like that you can just kind of sneak it in, and then the people that want to finish it are going to kind of almost be obligated to buy that if you want to.
You're pot committed experience. At that point.
Yeah, you're too far. I think it's kind of shady because you're committed. You put your money down in the first place, and that should commit you for the life of it. If it's in that case, in the case of Hitman, we expected another season. That's fine. That was intentionally left open-ended, which is fine. But when you have something like the Telltale games, it's not. Like, you expect 5 episodes, just like all of them, and then it's done. Then there's season 2, then there's season 3 that are all separate.
Yeah, I mean, I'll totally agree with that. I try to buy I love having the discs, so I try to buy all those Telltale games on disc, and I bought the Minecraft story mode on disc, and you paid for it, and then all of a sudden they have these 3 extra episodes at the end of it, and I don't think I'm as cynical as Randy over here, but I the same thing. The frustration is like, well, here's the thing: I bought season 1. I assumed I bought season 1. It's the season pass. And this is still part of season 1. Why is this? I had to pay $15 extra to get those extra those extra episodes. Why is this not part of it? And it was that I do understand that frustration as well. So you would have to definitely, I think it's about expectations. And if you as a consumer are expected to get all of this content, whether it's Hitman or Minecraft or whatever, and you don't get it, I think that's where the problem lies. I don't think it's the model. I think it's how you kind of lay forth what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, I agree. And in terms of the model, I have no problem with the model, and it's been successful for a very long time, and it's usually pretty fair in terms of content. Like, I mean, you look at a game like Doom, like that was so successful because of that model. And you get the first little bit free, and then you get the part 2 and part 3 and the part 4 that you have to pay for.
And so here, I don't think my take has changed since hearing about it in March. And again, I haven't played it, so maybe it's not the issue. But from what I remember playing with Hitman Absolution, I think my biggest frustration is, unless you are staying on that game through the entirety, is that you have to relearn those mechanics every time you pick up a new set of maps. Whereas, with the Telltale episodic, I'd like them to be more closer together, but I don't mind there being a break because there's not really a gameplay element that it's like, boy, if I can't nail my QuickTime events, I'm going to be in big trouble. That's not quite the level of gameplay that we're talking about here with Hitman, where you have to understand what the cone of visions, the type of stealth action that you can do, weapons that you have available. Maybe each one is set up where you don't. It's not that crazy, but still, from what I recall, I don't want to jump into story chapter 14 when it's like, oh boy, yeah, this is gonna be the hardest one because there's all these bad guys all over the place. How do I do everything? How do I, stay silent? How do I change outfits? Whatever. So I'm still a little nervous about that. I don't think this game is going to I think there's going to be a clean break between Season 1 and Season 2, much like Walking Dead Season 1, Walking Dead Season 2. I think there will be a clean break, and because they're going to want to sell it as a new full $60 title. There's an end here to Season 1. I totally think that they're going to look for a way to reboot the series, and whether or not they just copy the assets from Season 1. The
thing with that is, in that article you have in the Trello there, they're launching from the same app. So Season 2 is part of Season 1. It's going to be like Killer Instinct. It's the same game with more content injected into it. And it's probably going to be the same achievement list, too.
You don't think they'll add on to it?
I think they'll add on
as a gate.
No, they'll add on achievements, but they'll be part of Hitman. Like, it'll be Hitman Season 1 and 2 as one list. So if you start Season 1, you have Season 2 on there. You start Season 2, you have Season 1 on there.
So now I'm going to say I like it even less because of all the points that you guys have raised of where's the end? Right, yeah, I want to complete this game. When is the game going to be done? Certainly from an achievement standpoint, but even just from a content standpoint. It's I might love all the content and just eat it up each time. And I mean, I'm kind of. It's not a great analog, but I'm looking at when Prue, you had mentioned about having a steady content drip, right? Where there's new content coming out each time. And I look at Destiny, which I've put over 2 years into now. Or has been out for over 2 years. Me personally haven't started it till January, so I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary. But that game, I'm not getting achievements over and over, right? I'm always kind of working toward a specific achievement or a specific set of achievements, but I'm gaining gear and I'm improving my character each time. And so it's kind of like that, where I want that drip of content. I want new things to do, and I want new experiences to kind of keep coming at a more frequent rate. But that doesn't really introduce new end game's the wrong word, but like a new completion to a story or something, right? I mean, the Taken King kind of was. Rise of Iron is its own set story, and that's DLC. But I can still keep playing the game in perpetuity, and until I feel like my character's maxed out.
Well, if we're talking for pound achievements here, the Telltale model is way better than the Destiny model. I mean, those two types of games are obviously very different. But if we're just talking season pass versus expansion pass model, the Telltale is just better because you're going to get more frequently. Whereas like Destiny, you're going to get something maybe once a year, a new list of things that you can do. Telltale, you're going to get 3 or 4 a year. So, and it's interesting because, when you guys are talking about not knowing where the end is, it's very deliberate that Telltale sets these things up as seasons because it's very analogous to TV. You start watching a TV show, you don't know when that's going to end. It could end at the end of season 1. It could end halfway through season 1. It could end at season 10. I think it's that kind of same model that they're trying to chase, obviously. And you were talking about not exactly knowing the mechanics every time you pick up the controller, and I'm not really sure. Obviously, Telltale doesn't have that problem because they're so simplistic. But they do also, every time you start a chapter and end a chapter, they say previously on this adventure and next time on this adventure, to tease and to remind you where you are. Hitman obviously has a bit of a different problem because those complex games, you're right. I'm kind of curious, is this now going to introduce like this kind of binge gaming thing? Not that binge gaming isn't already a term, but like, is now that Hitman Season 1 is going to be its own discrete thing, is everybody going to just play through Hitman Season 1 and then wait for Season 2 to come out and then play through Season 2 all at once?
Yeah.
Personally, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I kind of looked at we'll see how long I stick to this, but because I've enjoyed my Gears Tuesdays and Titanfall Thursdays, I was thinking, you know what? I'm going to kind of set a schedule. And I think, so I looked at my gaming and I said, all right, I got some opens on Monday, and then my Tuesday is going to be like my small group or co-op gaming with the community. Wednesday could go either way, open gaming or like co-op something. Thursday will be my large group, and I'm kind of making a list of games that we can play after Titanfall. And Friday, Saturday, whatever. Friday's podcast recording. Saturday is open gaming. And I was like, you know what? I really need to focus on the Telltale games. I need to if I make that a routine, and so my plan now is every Sunday, like I'm watching TV. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get an episode out, and just so I can keep working at it. And I mean, ultimately, there's nothing stopping me from just saying, you know what, I'm gonna play all 5 episodes right here in a row, except time, of course. But I like the fact that I have control of it now, where I don't have to. I'm not at the beck and call of Telltale saying, all right, we're finally done with it. Here you go. I know the whole story arc is here, and I've thankfully avoided spoilers as best as I can. But, now it's time. Okay, got to finish Wolf Among Us. Got to get into Walking Dead Season 2 and just kind of make a commitment to that. And so, yeah, binge gaming, that's way, especially with us who have giant backlogs of games, where it makes so much more sense just to say, I don't really need to be on the front edge of Batman. I can wait until, the story arc's complete. Maybe that changes because my purchasing dollar doesn't go, and I can't say, out on social media, I hated this part of the game. Stop that storyline and fix it because you guys are ruining the experience. Maybe I can't be a part of that conversation, but, there's plenty of other people there that can get fired up over random things. Well, I wanted to make an announcement on there's a fun milestone for our gaming community. It's the True Achievements community. And so the True Achievements Twitter handle has made the announcement, achievement unlocked, 400,000 tracked gamers on site. That's fantastic. I think when I started, it was like 260. Actually, Planting, have you been around the longest? Crandy, Damien, we're all old timers.
I think I'm at 7 years.
Damien and Warren both have me beat by quite. I've only been since February 2012. Is what
I'm an alpha. Hold on, I'm checking.
Oh, alpha, that's a good one. I'm a gamma.
I am registered on February 22nd, 2009.
Dang, old man. March 13 of 11. So I'm a year 3 player. Where do we rank?
I'm on 7th of February 2012.
Where do we rank on, because they have your site rank, and of course, so my site rank's only showing 324,000 gamers, And I think those are like. So I think that number are the people who actually signed up and have accounts, and then there's probably another 80,000 people who are like, because I have like 3 of my buddies who haven't signed up with True Achievements, but I'm like, track them because I want to see, they're Xbox gamers, but they don't care about achievement hunting. I just want to see them on my feed and what they're playing every now and again. So I think that counts as part of the tracked gamers. But I'm up to 15,000. I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, you guys have way higher gamer scores than me. Where are you?
True Achievement rank?
Yeah, True Achievement Slayer rank.
I'm 2683.
Dang, that's real
high. I
high.
just broke 450K today. I wasn't even aware of that. But
hey, good for you.
So,
hooray.
Rock bands.
I'll go before Warren because I know he's got the highest. I'm at 515.
That's super high. So you're almost in the top 500. You should make that a goal, Damien. Get to the top 500.
You know how long I've been trying to make the top 500?
No, I don't.
Long enough. It's kind of funny. Just I don't know. I thought by eclipsing 450,000 gamer score, I would have been up, but no. I've been at 515 or around there for months.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very surprised that many people. That these 15 people ahead of me keep up at the same rate or that there's that much churn. Because I would think I'm on site now 8 years. I would think at some point a lot of the senior people just die off because it's been almost a decade of doing this. Like, just burn out already.
Just give up, all you.
Yeah. Everybody likes a quitter. There's no disgrace in just saying, I don't know what I'm doing.
Absolutely. So, planting, where are you sitting?
I'm 292 on site, but I've been losing ground lately. I was up in the 280s at one point.
Oh, man.
See, now Damien's going to catch up to you.
You think so?
That's going to take a while.
Well, it's funny that you guys mentioned that because so there was so Kaiba Chaos alerted us to a blog post which was very interesting, and we've kind of talked about in the past, that we've tracked kind of the top gamers and kind of where everybody's going, but the Dauntless, right? We've talked about the Dauntless being this mystery of a human being. He might not even exist. Well, he made a comment. He actually posted a blog post on this was back on what is July 8th? That's not right. Yeah, July 8th. And it kind of started making some rounds, but he's retiring from achievement hunting. It said back in he said he started achievement hunting in July of 2008 with Lost Via Domus. And he said, at this point, he's hanging it up. And you get to a point when, and some of his comments are, yeah, I've had some really great experience and stuff, but I feel like I've missed out on some really amazing PC games and some great PlayStation exclusive games that, because I'm so focused on Gamerscore, that I can't enjoy some of the other outlets that they have out there. And so, you know what, I'm just going to kind of give it up. I'll still play Xbox, but I'm going to give it up, and I'm going to do PC. I'm going to do PlayStation at times or whatever. So there you go. So he's number 5 right now with just past 1 million. He's 1 million, almost 1,100,000 gamer score.
I don't know how you could do that.
How you can give up?
If you're that deep in,
you gotta feel like you get burnt out, though, right?
I don't know.
But I guess at some point this goes. Well, I've always said, like, with my whole thing, I just have a personal goal of doing 50,000 a year. But I mean, if you want to go do something else, go do it. It's your life. I mean, there's nothing that's vested where this is your job. That if you want to go off and play phone stuff or do stuff outside, it's kind of, I don't know, I've been watching a lot of South Park, but it's like the whole, I'm getting off Twitter, and it's like, well, when they destroy Cartman stuff, it's like, well, usually when people leave social media, they make a big statement about it. Nobody just leaves. And you're kind of going like, it almost feels like the same thing here. If people go out of gaming, it's this, I got to put this long, hard look at my life where it's just, you just don't want to do it. Just don't do it. It's your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. So anyway, we've reached out. Hopefully we can get an opportunity to talk to him. I mean, like I said, this has been 6 months ago that he's abandoned his quest for Gamerscore, but it'd be really interesting to talk to him about just his gaming in general, and like what changed, if there's anything in particular. It sounds super interesting. So great job, True Achievements, 400,000 tracked gamers. I hope your time off the Dauntless has been fantastic. And let's kind of wrap this show up. So we've got our Knobs and Discos, our home for unobtainable and discontinued achievements. Randy, you do have a note here that makes me smile. Can you explain this?
Tarragon put this one in, but apparently the Quantum Break achievements that were stuck have started
Media
to
Baron,
unlock.
right?
I don't remember. The one we talked about last week.
I hope that's the case. I
think it was for finding all of some kind of collectible.
Yeah.
And now they've started to unlock, so presumably they fixed something that was breaking it, and you can get them now.
Brilliant. All right, and we got shovelware this week.
We do. Jackpack 3.
Wonderful. Let's kick it on over to that.
Shovelware Cemetery.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's not episode of Shovelware Cemetery.
But Fream just said it was shovelware. What's going on, Randy? I'm confused.
Well, we're changing it up based on feedback and some internal discussions. We have decided to kill Shovelware Cemetery.
We're burying shovelware?
We're burying Shovelware Cemetery. Sort of. So what we're doing is what Shovelware Cemetery was up until now is now going to be changed to what we call Review Zed, where we take a game and we review it. Now, Shovelware Cemetery is not totally dead. Shovelware Cemetery is now going to be the place where games with a special hatred in our hearts go, and we just rip on them. Kind of like the original idea, but not a regular segment.
Yeah.
So
basically, true shovelware will go to Shovelware Cemetery, you're saying.
Exactly. And, we may have codes that we don't do on Review Zed that we do on Shovelware Cemetery, or just games that we play, like a game called Rock Band Rivals comes to mind.
You really didn't like that, did you?
No. No, I really didn't. So before we do that, before we get into this week, I want to thank everybody who responded to the survey. It was really nice to get some feedback and kind of get a feel for the section. And if you have the poll, or not the poll, the forum is closed now, but if you do have any more criticisms or anything, feel free to send them to us. Send them to us anonymously with a fake email, or as yourself. You can be as harsh as you want. We like feedback. With that being said, there were a few feedbacks. Of course, the sheet was all anonymous. But there are just a few things that kind of came up more than once that I just wanted to address, just to kind of clarify to the listeners. So I saw this one come up probably more than anything is not enough games get buried / it's not what Shovelware Cemetery kind of was intended to be. So when we first started, we wanted to just say, yeah, we're going to pick a game and we're going to rip on it. Well, that happened a few times, but the reality is most of these games aren't really that bad. And if we just take any game, if we request a code from a developer, it's unfair to say, okay, we're going to be unfairly harsh on your game and just rip on it. Now, if it's bad, like the games that we bury, then
Perfect Woman.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Then, it deserves that. But the reality is when you give most of these these games the time of day and you put some time into them and you really think about how much they cost, they're not that bad. I mean, they're not amazing a lot of the time, but they're not really that bad. So that's why so many games get purgatory, because we kind of both, and even before we record, we tend to have a short discussion of kind of how we feel about it before we do our on-air discussion. And usually it's kind of like, yeah, it's not amazing, but for $10 or $15, it's not bad. So that's why so many games get purgatory, and why not everything's getting buried, why we're not ripping on everything that comes in here. The next thing is we're moving to 1 game a week. We're going to stay with that because 2 games, there was a lot of feedback saying 2 games is too many, and 2 games is too many for us too.
You get a little burnout after a while, be honest.
Yeah. But 1 game a week is good. I'm good with that. Then the next thing is, since we tend to get more than 1 code a week, we already have a backlog. We've had a backlog for months. But what we want to do is, because we get so many codes and we want to know what you guys want to see us play. So we're hoping to get something set up where you guys can vote on what you want to see reviewed. And even if it's something that's older that we didn't get to, that we still have in our code backlog, if that's something that you guys want to hear us talk about and hear us play, we can dig that out and put that in our schedule. So, and additionally, we want to get a list going of everything we've reviewed, what episodes they were featured on, and what's coming up in the next few weeks. Our schedule, our kind of plans for what comes up tends to change, so that will probably be a tentative schedule, but it'll at least give you an idea of what we're planning on playing sometime in the next few episodes.
Yeah.
So
unless
with that,
something just is so great that gets bumped, which has happened, but yeah.
Yeah. Usually we have a pretty good idea, but it changes now and then. So with that, I think that covers everything that I wanted to talk about before we get started. Let's move into this week's game.
Yeah. Oh, and I brought a guest with me. Warren.
Is that a cue for Warren?
It's a cue for me. How's it going, everybody?
Well, actually, he's still been here from the main show, but we kept you around. So
remotely this time.
All right. So with that, so just because I usually do the info on the game, so we are reviewing the Jackbox Party Pack 3, which consists of, was it 4 or 5 titles? It was
5 games. We could only play 4 of them, but there were 5. So, we tried to play one of them and it didn't work because when we were playing, we had myself and Warren at my house and Damien at Damien's house. So Damien couldn't see the TV and we couldn't see Damien, which makes one of the games very difficult to play.
Yeah. So just for this out, so published and developed by Jackbox Games. This was released October 21st of 2016 for Xbox One. It is party minigames at an Xbox Live store price of $24.99. And as we mentioned, it actually consists of 5 games. I'll just quickly go over them. There's is it The Murder Party?
I think so.
TMP.
Either Murder Party or The Murder Party.
Yeah. The Murder Party, TKO, Faking It, Guespionage, and Quiplash 2. So those are the 5 titles. And as Randy said, I was playing remotely. So if you've played any Jackbox games, they all require you to be every player to be playing on a secondary device, be it a phone, a laptop with a web browser, basically something with web access, and every person's device logs into a room. So all of the game, none of them didn't require it, right? They all had to log in to the room, right?
Yeah, everybody. You can't even play on the console. The console's just acting as a TV.
Yeah. So all of games require that. So with that, as I said, we didn't do any streaming, so I could only hear barely what the TV was saying. So keep that in mind with our review. So let's start. What did we do for it? We did Quiplash 2.
We did Quiplash 2 first. That one was fun.
Yeah.
Now,
so
also, Damien won every one of these games, so I'm convinced he was cheating, even though he couldn't see the TV.
Yeah, it was very suspicious when the first 2 happened, and we're like, man, this is interesting. How are you pulling these off? And then you get to the end of them, and it's like, what did you do?
Yeah, cheating. Anyway, so Quiplash 2 is Quiplash. I don't know. I didn't play the first Quiplash.
It's the same.
I assume it's pretty much the same.
So
it's fun.
I guess the best way to say Quiplash, it's almost like a Mad Libs in the sense that it'll give a sentence or statement, and you have to fill in the blank with the word, and the two people's words face off against each other. I played Quiplash. I think, Warren, you were there, right, when we did it at PAX last year. So
oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, so Quiplash 2, quite frankly, nothing different from Quiplash 1, just new quip, phrases to use. So I like Quiplash. It out of all the ones, though, it is the one that if you're not streaming the TV, you can still get a gist of what's going on. I mean, you don't get to see.
It works pretty well.
Yeah. The only downfall is if you're remote, I can't see the answers that I was a player on, or like I wrote an answer.
Yeah, you don't see who you're facing off against. You only see when you're voting.
Yeah.
So that's kind of disappointing, but it's still doable, and we still had a lot of fun with it.
And I could still beat both of you.
Yep.
So all of the other games, amazingly enough, I could still win remotely. But yeah, I think Quiplash 2 was the only one that was tolerable remotely.
TKO was pretty good too.
Oh yeah, that. But what we did next was the Murder Party. So the basic premise, it's a trivia murder party. That's it, because it's a trivia game. So you'll have to fill in the blanks because I couldn't see the TV. But my understanding is it is a murder party, and basically everybody's guessing like some actually fairly you don't know Jack type trivia questions come up, and if you get a wrong answer, something happens to you where you get either injured or killed, and the goal is to be the last one to die.
Yeah,
or
pretty much
not die.
So the first one you won, and then I guess me and Warren both got our fingers cut off. We had to pick a finger that got cut off.
It was so weird.
I missed out on that.
Then, based on what finger we chose to get cut off, there was one answer in the next trivia question that we could not choose.
Oh.
Then Damien won again, and then we had to do a mini game where did we compete to see who died?
I want to say yes. I don't
we did
really
something
remember it.
Where one of us won, and then I died because I lost. And then Damien got the trivia question right again. And then Warren did something where we spelled a word, and whoever got the longest word, if I got the longest word, Warren died. If Warren got the longest word, he didn't die.
And I tied, so I died.
Yeah, we tied, so he got killed. And then Damien got the question wrong, and there was a puzzle you had to memorize that came up on the TV.
Which was horrible for him because he couldn't memorize it.
Big remote was just guessing, and then he died and won.
Yeah.
So it's not just the last to die either. There's the scoring system. I don't remember if you got a bonus if you were the last to die. I assume you do. But it was, I think in the end it was who ends up getting the most points wins. But obviously getting almost all the questions right, you probably win.
Yay me.
So then the next one was Guespionage, right?
Yep.
Was it Guespionage, or did we do TKO? Yeah, I guess it was Guespionage.
No, TKO was last.
Oh, okay.
I think it was because then there was what's the
faking it?
Faking it.
Yeah. So Guespionage was the one with the slider on the percentages.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with that one, they have statistics or surveys that are done. I'm not sure how many people were surveyed or who was surveyed, but based on the results of those surveys, you have to guess. Well, those are, you can't see the results, but it says a question like, what percentage of people answered that they preferred to read a physical book over an ebook? And one person will be guessing which, or a percentage that you have between 1 and 100, what percentage that person thinks. And then they get points based on how close they were. And then everybody else is guessing whether they think the answer is higher or lower than what the guesser guessed. So it was fun. Some of them were kind of, I didn't expect the numbers to be like that. So
yeah, I think it was more of a question of the survey itself, where they got their data to pull from, just like how accurate is that statistic?
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I mean, it's kind of like a Family Feud type thing where, you know, like, you just have to guess what the people surveyed are going to say. You're not guessing what the whole population is saying. But it was pretty fun. I wouldn't say it's as fun as Quiplash, but it was fun.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good party game.
Yeah, and I think and as I said, that one was, even not playing or not being there, wasn't bad. I don't think any of these was actually, you know, even as we go through, a bad game. I think they all had their fun. And again, you and Warren could probably speak to it better, having been in the room together, that again, the games they're all fun, and they are definitely local kind of. Yeah. The more people you have, the better.
Definitely.
Well, and particularly with Guespionage, like, you could pick that game up and learn it in 2 minutes. So you can have anybody, people don't play games, whatever, just grab whoever's in your house, say, hey, come play Jackpack. And
I think that's the point with all of these. They're all just kind of pick up and play. They're all really simple to learn.
Which is nice. And so then the next game we had, what was it?
That was TKO.
No,
Faking it.
We tried
the one that we tried playing, but didn't work with you not there.
I thought Faking
this one
ended on that.
No, we ended on TKO, but this one you have, everybody gets a command on their phone that says something like raise your hand if you have children or something, and one person out of the group gets a different command that says try and blend in, but they don't know what everybody else got. So they have to kind of guess, you know, do I raise my hand? Do I not raise my hand? And then everybody else votes who they think the faker was. So kind of with the nature of that game, everybody has to be in the room. The body language is pretty essential. So we tried to play it, but it kind of didn't work.
Yeah, I wasn't there even. Well, that was to be the thing, right? Like, if the question was, who has a kid? Well, I know both Randy and Warren don't have kids, and that would be my choice on the thing remotely. But again, I'm not in the room, so I don't know who raised their hand or not.
Yeah. But I have played board games that are similar to that, and they're so much fun when you have, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 people together, when you have to try and kind of be sneaky. And
it kind of reminds me of Boulder Dash, in the concept of, you know, you're just kind of making up the Boulder Dash, where you make up the word and you have to convince people that that the word is what you said it means. Same thing.
I've never played that one.
You never played Boulder Dash? It's a good game.
No.
Should try it.
That sounds fun, though.
Yeah.
And then the best for last, I don't know, Quiplash was pretty good too.
Yeah.
But TKO, I think at least in our play session, TKO, we had the most fun.
It was probably the most offensive too.
Quite possibly, yeah. But
yeah. See, Brielle's even smiling right now. I think she's remembering some of those shirts.
Green
was she with you when you were playing TKO?
Yeah, it was funny. She just glanced up. Yeah, she was in the room. I don't think she was. Oh. Yeah, just like now, she was snoring away, but she was there.
So TKO is a game where I'd say the first go is probably the most fun because you kind of don't really know what's going on yet. But basically what happens is you are told to draw three pictures on your device. And then after that, you just make up as many phrases as you want. Just short phrases, kind of a few words, short sentence.
Yep.
And then you are given somebody's set of phrases that they created and somebody's set of pictures. And then you put them together and then they go on a t-shirt. And your t-shirts face off against each other based on who is voting. So with the three of us, it would be, say, Damien's shirt was up for vote against my shirt. Then Warren would vote on whose shirt wins. And then you kind of go through. I think there were there 3 rounds or 2 rounds?
Yeah, because you had 3 shirts that you drew. So I think it was 3
Well,
rounds.
there was 3 shirts that you drew, and then you drew another one. And then I think the last 2 people did 1 more each or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly. But there's a few rounds. I think it's about 4 or 5 drawings per person. And there are some fantastic combinations that came out of what we were creating.
I'm always compelled to want to buy one of those shirts.
Well,
that's the best feature of the game. Is when they let you finish the game, and then it pops up this page. If you want to buy your shirts, click here. You open it up, and it shows you all the different shirts in the game, and you can print them out and have them sent to you for, what was it, $17, $18?
$19 shipped.
$19 shipped.
Nice.
Yeah, which is extremely reasonable considering, at least I think, and super genius.
It's not bad.
I don't know whoever thought that at Jackbox Games. Genius idea.
We're gonna have to make the new name for this though, because it's not a microtransaction. That's a macro transaction. Yeah. You're getting a shirt out of it.
You're getting a shirt. It's
you know what? That's how I'm gonna make my TA shirt.
TKO.
I'm gonna TKO my TA shirt.
Oh, that'd be the way to do it.
And I love, there was a statement too on them. It says something along the lines of, if your shirt contains any copyrighted content, and then in brackets, no matter how poorly drawn, the printer may refuse the right to print your shirt, or reserve the right to refuse to print your shirt, and your order will be canceled and you will be refunded. I thought that was kind of funny. But and you can also tweet your shirts. So one of the shirts that came out, I of course had to tweet. It's fantastic. If you guys want to see it, check my Twitter.
Oh God, Did you tweet the one I think you did?
I tweeted the rain cloud one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't tweet mine?
Yeah, no.
I was thinking that one. Yes.
Davian shirts are a little offensive.
Hilarious, but
they're fantastic. Don't get me wrong. They're
Can you
fantastic.
tell I'm the father of 2 small children? So I think overall, again, I've missed some of the older Jackpack series, but I thought this for a party game, you know, if you have parties where you have more than 3 people coming over and you like getting around in the living room and actually having kind of a, you know, next generation board game type event, this is great. You know, it's a great franchise, and the stuff is different. It's not anything like TKO. It's nothing I would have ever thought of as a game, but when you play it, it's like, wow, these guys
it's super fun.
Yeah, they think outside the box in an awesome way.
To be brutally honest, the only one down note I can think of, it's not the same announcer.
Oh yeah, it's not the regular announcer for most of the older Jackbox games.
I didn't.
Maybe
this is the first one I played, so it didn't.
Yeah, if you're used to the older announcer from, well, that's because you and I have gone through a lot of You Don't Know Jack.
True.
Yeah.
I finished that. That's a lot of Jack.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I would say buy it. That's our new rating. Our new rating system. What do we have? Buy it. Don't buy it.
Buy it depends. Depends on Yeah. No, I will say you might not want to buy this if you have absolutely no friends and nobody comes over to your house.
Yes.
But you should go out and make friends just so you can play Jackpack games.
Even if you have friends that come over once in a while.
Yeah. It's good to have.
It's worth it.
It's good to have in your quiver. something to crack out. Yeah.
And lots of replayability, because I don't really see they could get old if you play with the same people all the time. Eventually, I mean, you're going to get a lot of play out of them, but in general, lots of replayability, which is nice. So anyway, we recommend this. If you have friends, definitely buy it.
If you don't have friends, you should still buy it and make friends.
Well, it's got easy achievements. Even if you don't have friends, I mean, it's, 2 to 4 hour completion or something?
Yeah, just have a bunch of devices that have what? Well, actually, no, you can just do private browsers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a fun way to play the game, but yeah, you could definitely complete it by yourself fairly easily. So
that concludes our first Review Zed segment. We will see you next week.
All right, back to you, Fream. And thanks again, Warren, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Wonderful. Thanks for that, Shovelware. And to wrap things up, I do have some zombie news in my zombie news corner. This Nintendo related. So there's a video out there called what do they call this video? Super Mario Underworld. I don't know if you saw this at all, but it's a fan made video, and it starts with 2D Mario jumping, and he falls into a pit. And so he comes down, and at the bottom of the pit, he like lands in this forest, and it's all the decayed, and then it turns into live action, and it's all this decayed like question blocks and broken pipes and whatnot, and you've got all these like horrible mutant Goombas and Koopas and Koopa Troopas down there, and to top the whole thing off, Zombie Luigi shows up and chases Mario. Like I think
it's called Zombigi.
Zombigi, yeah, perfect. Yeah. And tries to eat him. Oh, it is just brilliant. So if you're curious about the Underworld, Super Mario Underworld, you got to take a look at this video. I saw it through Game Informer, so that'll be where the link is from. But it is just wonderful. I really appreciate that. And I think that's about it for the show. Unless you guys have anything else you wanna chime in on, Warren? Anything you want to promote while you've been hanging out?
I guess just to say, keep your eyes peeled. The announcement for GTAC 2017 will be up shortly.
That's right. You can get things moving in that regard.
I
Wonderful.
might even participate this year.
Shut up.
We're talking about it.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Wonder what team's going to recruit you.
I know, all my points. My unemployment points. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Unemployment
I was going to say, wow. I'm gonna not work for the entire year of 2017. I've got some gaming competitions to be a part of.
Oh,
Speaking
yeah.
of that, I got some great news. So this weekend was the Big Buck Hunter World Championship, the 2016 World Championship. It was on Twitch. This was Saturday, this past Saturday. It was on Twitch, and you could watch it. Well, my brother, who is the 2013 world champion, he was participating with a couple of his buddies, and he got second place overall. Walked away with $10,000 as for his prize pool on that. And I wish Big Buck Hunter Pro. Yeah, wow. So if you're interested and you watch him, you can see my brother, he's been in promotional videos for that game and stuff. He worked at a bar where he could just play that game for free, and so he got really good at it, and then just started competing and being in tournaments, and ended up winning the national championship in 2013 and got second place this year. So congrats to him. He doesn't listen to the show because he's not an achievement guy, but that was kind of cool. So I think that's it. So everybody who's been listening, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Everyone who's on the show, thank you for contributing your time and your voice and your opinions, even though Crandy's is wrong. But we hope you all enjoyed listening to it. It was great. It was a lot of fun. If you are listening to it and you would love to help out the show, please give us a review on whatever podcast app you're listening to. That will help us spread the word of the show. We really appreciate it. It would be wonderful. You can always go to our website, zed2zed.com, ZEDTOZED. that's where all the show notes are. So the link to Zombie Mario is in there. All sorts of random stuff that we have, and of course, I think is our survey still up? We're going to take that down. Doesn't matter.
Survey for which?
For back talking about the debate. If you still want to chime in on the debate,
no, that's down now.
That's gone. That's you killed it. Yeah. Fantastic. We do have our forums, and so if you are interested in getting into any of the contests that we've talked about, there are prizes involved. So head over to the new site name, forum.z2z.com. So much easier to remember. So go to forum.z2z.com, and you can get onto any of the contests that we run. And we'll run monthly contests with prizes involved. So if you're interested and you like gaming, and just so everyone's aware, I really enjoy setting up contests where kind of everybody has a chance to win. So even if you're a modest gamer, you have an opportunity to get a prize. So don't feel like if you can't put up huge numbers, you're out of the running. One of the best places to contact us is via Twitter. That's @Z2Z. I will spell it again, ZEDTOZED. We've got that email address, contact@Z2Z.com. And I want to have a big shout out to all of the sites that help us make this a reality. Libsyn, Discord, Trello, Twitter, Discourse, Zencaster, and Skype. Thank you for providing tools for the show. TrueAchievements.com. We love you. Congratulations on your 400,000. And of course, Microsoft for giving us the Xbox console. So, on behalf of Prue, Damien, Crandy, Warren, I've been Brandon, and to all of you achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next episode.
Thanks for listening.
Peace out.
Good night, everyone.
Here we go. And of course, Damien just leaves. All right.
Here, I'm in the room. I'm the one with the conferencing thing. I was just grabbing my coffee mug.
Damien leaves.
But my coffee's cold. I'm going to get some more. Just kidding. It's fine.
Ba-da-doo, da-da-doo. That's the transition music. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
I'm in a swingish state now. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to vote.
Why? Because you're not an American citizen?
No,
Canadian?
I didn't register in time. It's my
You
own
sound
fault.
like one of the Trump kids.
I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I just didn't register in time.
See, I take a page out of the Chicago campaign book. You vote early and vote often.
Oh, he's got jokes.
Vote
He's got
often.
Yes.
How do you vote often?
That's
You
the joke.
vote for your you vote
That's
as
the
your
joke.
deceased spouse.